How did you get into sneakers originally?
Just being a kid who had access to the internet, and when I say access, like access, of course, to like a 56K modem. And
Of course.
You know, we won't go into all the details about how you could or couldn't use it at certain times of the day, but just like finding out. I mean, watching movies like Just for Kicks, you know, a really important documentary from 2005. Just that, like, people were using sneakers to say something about their identity, and there was this like collector culture around it. So I didn't really have a lot of in-person ways to experience that, being where I was growing up in this remote part of Idaho, and I would just research stuff online. So I spent a lot of time on Nike Talk in that era.
APTHCRY on the wave. Shoes off, pause, yeah, let's get it. Shoes off, but the vibes stay loud. APTHCRY heat, yeah, I'm flexing in the crowd. Socks on the scene, that's a subtle little flex. Talking drip in the pod, yeah, we setting the next. Mic on fire, we vibing with the crew.
But before we get into the episode, I want to give you all a huge thank you for supporting, watching, and listening to our podcast. The Shoes Off podcast has been an absolute passion project for us. It's given me and Os a chance to actually sit down and talk to people that we never would have thought that we could have talked to, and not only that, record the conversations and share them with you guys. As much as we love doing this, the podcast does take up a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of traveling, and to be frank, a lot of money. So what we've decided to do is team up with Core and launch our Shoes Off Podcast Core monthly membership. In addition to supporting what we do here on the Shoes Off Podcast, the monthly membership also comes with access to exclusive members-only episodes. And the first one is actually live right now. In addition to that, you'll get access to exclusive giveaways, and starting in mid-November, you'll be able to see episodes like a week or two before they even launch. So if you'd like to support the Shoes Off Podcast, make sure to check out the Core monthly membership linked in the top of the description below on YouTube, and if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music, through the show notes. And as a thank you, you'll get access to all of the perks that I just mentioned. So whether you choose to support us through the Core monthly membership or not, I do want to give you guys a huge thank you for just supporting us in general. The fact that you guys are listening and watching the podcast has been absolutely incredible, and I can promise you that we would not have been able to get any of these guests without the support of you guys. So thank you all so much for that. Again, this podcast has been an incredible once-in-a-lifetime experience for us, and hopefully you guys are gaining some value from listening to the conversations that we've been able to have. So seriously, thank you so much for the support. And let's get back into the episode.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Shoes Off podcast. Our guest today is a very, very well-known person within the sneaker community. He was the head of sneakers at Complex. He was the host of multiple podcasts, like the Full Size Run podcast, the Complex Sneakers podcast, and now he is currently the senior director of customer community and engagement at StockX. We've got Brendan Dunne here today. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm here today.
Appreciate it.
I'm happy to be here.
Well, thank you so much for coming on
Can
the
I
podcast.
make an apology real quick?
Of course.
My voice is not as smooth and soothing as it usually is. I spent a lot of time screaming over the weekend. I actually kind of like the register I'm in now. It
It's
gives
a beautiful
it a little
register.
bit of like Jada Kiss, Lloyd Banksy type edge to it. It'll be back to normal in a couple days, but my apologies for that.
No, it's special edition, Brendan. I like it. This is the best. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This is great.
happy
I
to be
appreciate
here.
you
I
being here.
sound better already.
You sound great.
Just gotta
Okay.
clear your
Yeah,
throat.
absolutely.
Okay.
Got a nice baritone going on right now. I dig it. I dig it.
What's happening? How are we?
We're good. I'm really excited to have you on because I've been following your work for years. I'm going to try and not glaze too hard.
And I've been following yours too,
thank
so
you so
mutual
much.
respect.
I really
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's good to,
And
it's
I
good to
just met
finally sit down.
Osman, but I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Thank you.
Quite a nice guy, talented designer.
Okay.
Talented guy. Yeah, but today I kind of wanted to sit down and talk with you sort of about how you got to where you are, talk about what you're doing now, and then just talk fashion and sneakers because I feel like that's, you know, you're a sneaker expert. We dabble in sneakers, and I feel like you've got
Come
some
on,
really
don't
cool
sell
insights.
yourself short.
Listen,
Don't call me an expert and say you're not an expert. Again, I don't know Osman, but he's probably an expert too.
he has been
based
collecting
on his footwear.
Oh, absolutely. He's been collecting SBs since what, 2004, 2005?
Yeah, around there.
So he's an expert too.
He's an expert. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I'm the not expert. I'll tell you
No,
this.
we're all
Well,
experts.
Let me say. Okay. The difference. Okay. So Osman's been collecting longer than me. You have literally done this professionally for over 10 years. I've been sitting in my bedroom filming videos
About sneakers.
About sneakers. To be fair,
That's an expert.
I wouldn't call it an expert. I'd call it
we
a.
all play our part.
I'd call it someone with a fascination of shoes. But with that being said, I'd really love to get into what you got on feet today. What you got?
This is the
Undefeated?
undefeated Air Jordan 4. Like I said, I spent a lot of time this weekend screaming. So I have a handful of green shoes in my collection, which I generally reserve for University of Oregon Ducks football games.
Of course.
I went to the University of Oregon, so this was a green sneaker that I had on ice leading up to a big Oregon game, and Oregon was at Penn State this weekend. That's where I was screaming throughout the weekend. So I still have it on. Beautiful shoe that means a lot to me. A shoe that we connected over because we shot that video with you at SneakerCon.
Yep.
You talked about how you had purchased a pair earlier than you should have, and you said, these are your words, not mine, that you should have bought them on StockX.
They were literally cheaper on StockX from where I bought them from.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Can you say that again?
They were cheaper on StockX initially.
Turn that part up. Okay, yeah.
And oh man, I won't get into it, but I've had some concerns with the pair that I bought not on StockX. I'll say that
Yeah,
much.
but if you would have bought them on StockX,
I know.
you would have had the millions of dollars worth of investment in verification behind. Anyways, go on.
No, you're right, 100%. And I've learned my lesson.
Your words, not my. Well, my words.
Well, yeah, man. So I'd love to. Well, first of all, let's start with.
Wait, what are you? Can I know? I'm sorry. I'm
yeah,
going to
of course.
interrupt a lot. I'm
No.
sorry.
You are literally a professional podcast host. This is like my 30th podcast, so I'd love for you to.
I want to know about what you guys are wearing and how we arrived here, or is it just me? Is that how this?
No.
goes?
No, I'm rocking the Big Bubble Air Max 95s.
Yeah.
I threw them on because I know you're an Air Max guy at the moment.
Yep.
I was thinking about throwing on some white Reeboks.
Wow.
But
That's a tribute to me.
Instead, I threw on the 95s because the only white Reebok I have is called the V-Bok. It's like a sample from Gary V.
Okay, cool.
And I've worn it a couple times, but it's gotten dirty, so now it's like it's pretty beat.
Okay.
Beater.
It would. I mean, shoot, it's not a bad shoe. It's very comfortable. But what do you got on feet?
I got the Jedi's Nike SB.
Something
from,
light.
Like 03, 04?
I don't remember.
Around
That
there.
sounds right.
But
You're
they're
the
all-
expert. I sold my pair. We're all wearing some shade of green today. which
Yeah,
is
look
true.
at that.
Yeah,
I have to assume it was a tribute to me.
absolutely,
Okay,
100%,
perfect.
100%. Well, speaking of Oregon, so you went to Oregon for linguistics.
Yeah, that's right.
So getting into journalism, I'm assuming that they tie together in some way. You obviously the language, linguistics.
Right.
Like, how was your time there? How did that lead you to sneakers?
Well, I would say that the thing that I studied there didn't too much inform my career path,
Okay.
although my background studying linguistics does inform how I think and how I see the world. But I don't think it helped me that much in training for writing about sneakers. And in fact, there was a moment in my career where I had to make the decision about whether or not I wanted to pursue this linguistics thing or pursue this sneaker writing thing. And I went with sneaker writing, and that more or less brings us here today on the Grand Concourse. But I didn't study journalism, so I don't really have that formal background. So a lot of times you usually won't hear me use that word to describe my own work because out of respect for people who actually have a journalism degree and who know those rules a little better than I do. But yeah, I mean, the University of Oregon, an important place for sneakers, for the history of sneakers. So that definitely was a training ground for me in some ways.
How did you get into sneakers originally?
Just being a kid who had access to the internet. And when I say access, like access, of course, to like a 56K modem.
Oh, of
like,
course.
You know, we won't go into all the details about how you could or couldn't use it at certain times of the day, but just like finding out, I mean, watching movies like Just for Kicks, you know, a really important documentary from 2005, just that, like, people were using sneakers to say something about their identity, and there was this like collector culture around it. So I didn't really have a lot of in-person ways to experience that, being where I was growing up in this remote part of Idaho. And I would just research stuff online. So I spent a lot of time on Nike Talk in that era.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was your username?
I actually was a lurker. I feel like I didn't have anything useful to contribute to the conversation. So I was like, let me just like soak it up. You know what I mean? I wasn't, what was I going to say?
Right.
I don't know.
I mean,
Post your fit pics.
there you go. Shout out Franelations.
Yes, always.
Absolutely. Did you have a specific Nike Talk username that you used?
Is OCC man. Same
Okay,
as my
cool. Same
Instagram
as now.
today.
Yeah, we could go like dig up all
Yeah.
your old posts.
ISS, Nike Talk. I
You were
was on
shit
both.
posting on there.
No, I was buying because that's
We're gonna look at your posts.
all
Man.
right.
We're gonna see if there's some
Rad,
questionable
throw 'em up on
content in
screen.
there.
It's high school me.
Unfiltered.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, mid 2000s Osman. Oh my goodness. Okay, so how did your time, or I guess your love of sneakers, how did that lead into working at Sneaker News? Like, what was that sort of first jump into the professional sneaker?
Yeah,
world?
this was I think 2011.
Okay.
And like sites like Sneaker News were ones that I was consuming on a regular basis at that point anyway. So anything that they would have posted, I would have seen, and they had a small rectangular banner on the site calling for writers, saying they were hiring writers. And I just submitted some samples, didn't hear back for a while. Eventually did hear back from a gentleman named Yu Ming,
Oh yeah.
who I'm sure you know from SneakerCon. Yu Ming, founder of Sneaker News, co-founder of SneakerCon, a guy who is involved in a lot of sneaker things and really opened the door for me in this industry. He had responded to me, and at the time they were starting a new website called Jordan's Daily.
Right.
just dedicated to Jordans. This was around the release of the band Jordan 1 that was the outlet only shoe, if you remember that. So Jordan's Daily was kind of the site that I had to get a lot of reps in for before I moved over to Sneaker News, like before I was kind of promoted to that level. So it was Jordan's Daily, it was Freshness Magazine, which is another thing Yu Ming was involved in back then, kind of more of a lifestyle, hype beastie type website. And then from there, I moved on to Sneaker News. So it was just like in the free time that I had in college, and I had more of it going into my senior year because I had less classes on my schedule. So I would write blog posts and paid per post and just try and do as thorough a job I could in a short amount of time explaining what people needed to know about any given shoe, and started working for them full time out of college and have been on that path ever since.
What got you into linguistics in the first place, like the high school version of you?
Yeah, I mean, in high school, I didn't know what that was, but when I arrived at the University of Oregon in, I guess, 2008, I really didn't have an idea of what I was doing there or what my major might be or anything, but I always cared deeply about words and the way they interact and language and the history of it and how patterns emerge. And once I found that path and once I understood that that was a thing, I was like, oh, this is a thing for me. You know, I spent a lot of time talking to counselors about, well, what's your major? What are you going to pick? And the thing I always tell people is in my earliest time at the university, I was just like filling my schedule with classes that would like be funny to tell people about.
Yeah.
So like if I met somebody at a party, I'd be like, yeah, my schedule is like piano and fencing and Arabic. And
Did you really take fencing?
yeah,
I did too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I dropped out though.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't finish the semester, the quarter. It's a quarter system.
fair, fair. Were you? It's funny. Went to Drexel, also a quarter system. Weird system.
Yeah.
Did it require you to take internships in like that third quarter during the summer?
No, I didn't have that.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you're probably a better fencer than me. You finished out the quarter.
Well, I actually did it in high school, and then I started to do it in college a little bit. But it's one of those things.
You were on a fencing scholarship?
No. I just did it kind of at home in a fencing club in Baltimore, Maryland, where I was at. And I was, I hate to say it, I'm going to say it. It wasn't the best way for me to find my future spouse, is what I'll say. It wasn't as attractive as something like basketball or football. So I'm like, why am I spending my time on this? I'm getting stabbed all the time. Might as well just do something else. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But it was like, I'm not playing any other sports. I probably should just focus on music or art or something else, which I was good at. So, yeah.
Man, I need to see the footage of you fencing.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
I've
bad.
never seen.
I want to see the highlights. I want to see your Nike Talk post,
Yes.
Osman, and I want to see your fencing highlights. Yeah.
They were. I mean, you think I'm skinny and unathletic
Did you
now?
have
It's
the
worse.
full like?
Oh, I had the full getup. I fenced
of course.
foil too, so I fenced and I fenced in competitions as well. So I had like the full.
Did
like
you
the
win
medal.
any competitions?
I won one.
You got a trophy somewhere?
It's like a little medal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But then I tried to do the Junior Olympics, which wasn't the real Olympics. It was like this competition up in New Hampshire, and it was in high school. And I made it to like the final round.
Dude, you're such a fencer. I can't believe you had the audacity to compare our fencing resumes when I spent 7 weeks fencing and you were in all kinds of competition, earning hardware, and like you were aiming for the Junior Olympics.
Here's the thing. This is the first time I've ever told anybody this.
Yeah,
He didn't even know I
Flip
fenced.
this. Okay.
Also, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. It's something that, you kind of do it because you're good at it, and you're like, I don't love it, but at least I'm good at it, so might as well do it. That sounds really a lot sadder than I think it
maybe
actually was.
after you
at the
can
time.
show us like some.
Yeah.
But you walked away from it.
I did with all my limbs somehow. Yeah. But no, it was good. So you did fencing, you did piano.
You did fencing. I dabbled. You did fencing.
A little bit. Yeah. Not in college. Like barely. But yeah, okay. So you're doing these classes. You were doing fencing, piano.
Yeah.
What sort of interested you most about like these patterns and things that you'd find in language? Was there something that and did it translate to becoming a better writer?
I think it did translate to becoming a better writer. I hope it translated to becoming a better writer because, like I said earlier, it informs like the way I think about sentence structure and communicating ideas and things like this that I think a lot of people don't necessarily explicitly think about, even though we all have the tools, because it sounds obvious to say, but we use language every day, and it's just one of the most essential things that you have as a human. So we can all do these things, but to like stop and think about it and really break it down, I think aided me a lot. And again, I think about it, when I'm sitting on the train or when I don't have phone service, like the ideas that are pinging around in my head.
So does it like bother you going on social media and seeing like terribly formed sentences like on Twitter or on YouTube or like AI?
Not always. This is funny. I'm happy to. You got to cut me off at some point because like I'm happy to sit here and talk about linguistics.
No, I
with
love it.
you,
I'm down.
But like
I'm
I
down.
feel like most people watching this probably didn't tune in for that. But it some of that stuff does pain me, but also I believe in, and like the people who I studied under believe in, a descriptive view of linguistics rather than a prescriptive view, which is to say like it's more beneficial to explain how people are using the language rather than to correct them and to try and impose specific rules on them for how to use the language, because
That's interesting.
those rules should emerge naturally as language users. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's really interesting. I love that. I love that. So it's like when with the words that you add to the dictionary that are being used that seem kind of like at the time just very of the time, but then it sort of inserts itself into language, and so it's more of like you're appreciating that rather than saying that's the wrong way to do that.
Right.
Gotcha.
That's the hope. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So tell me about your time at Sneaker News, and not even that, just your time at Soul Collector and Complex writing about sneakers. Like, what was that like, writing about something you were very passionate about? And was there, sorry to add too many questions here, I'm very new to podcasting. Was there like specific stories that you were really excited about?
Yeah, I mean, it was an absolute pleasure to be able to get to do that stuff, to turn my main hobby into my career. Yeah, it was it was a lot of responsibility to make sure you get things right, and like we got a lot of things wrong in the early days and probably didn't spend enough time like really thinking about where the information was coming from
Right.
or how well it was sourced, which was something I tried to develop in my time doing sneaker media. But yeah, I mean, early on, I became pretty obsessed with like covering court cases and
Nice.
like downloading legal documents and things that I just felt like were missing from the sneaker media space. And yeah, that was a big thing for me. And then just figuring out doing interviews, doing on camera stuff, and then figuring out just being in the street and being outside. And there's all these different forms of consuming sneakers, and yeah, I just tried to like do as much of it as I could, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing I always appreciated about your work, because I've noticed like you look at, not to dog on social media because I literally do that for a living, but like when it comes to social media, especially covering products in general, it doesn't have to be sneakers, it's very stating the obvious. Like especially the trap that I fall into a lot, especially when there was Yeezys dropping every weekend,
Right.
and these videos would get hundreds of thousands of views. It'd be so easy to put out a video that's like 8 minutes long, just to hit that monetization thing and be like, this Yeezy comes in the same materials, but it's in black, and talk about like, oh, it's a slightly different shade of black, or it's this or it's that. But there is a story behind it. And so for a lot of people, I find that, and including myself, I'm very guilty of this many times, but like it's very easy just to fall into the surface level description of shoes and products. And the older that I've gotten, the more I've really started to appreciate like stories about Amamanier, like some of the stories behind their shoes, or really like, shoot, I'm trying to think of some other ones, but there's tons of sneakers that all have these incredible stories. And it's like, you really have to be willing to dive deep and do the research. And that's one thing that I think a lot of people like yourself are really good at, because you do it for a living, and also you've done it, I'm assuming, outside of sneakers a little bit. So you have more of an understanding than people who, in my case, turn on a camera or turn on a phone and just kind of film yourselves. You buy a sneaker early and you're like, okay, this is the color. That's all I know about it. Here you go.
Yeah, but also I think it's it can be very self-indulgent sometimes. Like sometimes I do those things because they're fulfilling for myself, and like you also have to keep in mind what the audience actually wants, and like whether or not they are interested in 4,000 words on a niche shoe from 20 years ago, or whether the audience just wants a brief breakdown of where they can buy it and what the price is. So I think the values of these things are relative, and it's not, I don't always believe in like one is better, because I think there are traps that I fell into for sure on the other side of like, sometimes people don't actually care about the niche things that I've become obsessed with. And it is about the audience, I think. So,
What's one of these niche things that you've fallen into? Is there a specific line of sneakers that you don't think anyone cares about that you're like, this is the one?
I mean, like, there are definitely stories that I've written that like were because I was obsessed with the thing, not because I thought that like a lot of people were really into it. I mean, the most recent one that comes to mind from my time at Complex was like Nike released this new pack of running sneakers, Alpha Fly, Vaporfly, etc., with the flame graphic on them that a lot of people know from the Zoom Streak Spectrum Plus. That was a Steven Smith sneaker that Supreme revived, I want to say in 2018, with the flame graphics. And I spent a lot of time tracking down the developers who worked on the original shoe and trying to untangle some of the history about it being exclusive to Japan and made for these Ekiden racers, which is why Nike. I'm already boring you with
No,
the
I
details.
love it.
Please go read the piece. Which is why like Nike made the new pack because it was in reference to the old thing. And Paula Radcliffe, legendary woman who set marathon world records, she wore some versions of them and things like this that like sometimes people just want to know about the latest foam posit. And that's
Fair.
okay.
No, totally. But it's interesting you brought that shoe up in particular because that is a shoe that I brushed off completely.
Yeah,
Because I
Zoom
didn't know
Streak Spectrum, the flame one.
I didn't know the history of it.
Osman, are you into it?
No,
No,
I missed that one too.
fair enough.
It was one of those ones where I was like, what is this? Like, what are they doing? I had no idea that
Yeah.
I knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
And then years later, after I'm sure I put it in a video too. Like, I don't know, like I do these videos talking about the upcoming sneaker releases, and I'm sure someone will find it and clip it or something stupid like that, but not stupid. It's what I said was stupid. Let me clarify. I think I said something like, this is busted. Like, I don't like this. This is going to, it's going to sit or whatever. And then years later, I don't know if it was your piece or I saw it somewhere, or maybe when we had our conversation with Stephen Smith, it's probably less recent than that. But I was like, dang, like I completely missed it. I completely went over my head.
Yeah.
And now understanding it, it's not just a sneaker with flames on it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that that's literally what I thought
It's
it
got
was.
a real history. But not,
Yeah.
but see, that's not totally an unfair reaction because a lot of times these shoes come back and it's like, they don't come back for any particular reason, or they don't like. Not every old shoe has history, and I feel like that's also. I love this thing you said about like falling into traps or like cliches around like a classic running sneaker from 2004. It's like just because it's old doesn't mean it's a classic or it was a big seller or it has any cultural relevance. But
Right.
yeah, Zoom Streak Spectrum too. Like I wasn't sleeping on them. I did remember wanting to buy them, but I never was able to. And so actually, that's a shoe that I will consistently go put lowball bids on StockX and be like, somebody's going to bite size 10 me at some point because I still do want the white pair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So through your 10 years or around, was it just over 10 years writing at Complex?
Yeah. So it's a Complex for 10.5 years. Yeah.
How did you go from Sneaker News to Complex? Was that just a job opening you applied, or?
I did not apply. There was a gentleman named Gerald Flores who was running Soul Collector at the time. So some of this gets a little bit complicated just because like the structure of the relative companies, but Complex owned Soul Collector and had absorbed that into them. And Gerald was running Soul Collector and he wanted me to come over and write for them as part of the Complex machine. And yeah, we made it happen. So yeah, he sought me out and wined and dined me at Steak and Shake, I think was in Midtown. Yeah. And that was all I really need is a milkshake and I'm in. Milkshake and a handshake.
Awesome. So how was your time there? Did you enjoy the writing experience at Complex?
Yeah, for sure. It meant a lot to me, and I had a lot of people around me who knew more than me, which is always useful, and like really pushed me as a writer and as an editor, and just learned to question things more and to put a lot more work into what we were putting out and be patient with things and try and source things as much as possible. And I again get to do like the podcasting thing. Get to do videos, make full size runs. So yeah, it meant a lot to me. All the work I was able to do at Complex. Yeah.
This episode of the Shoes Off podcast is brought to you by your sneakers favorite socks, APTHCRY. Now I'm here in the APTHCRY warehouse. We've got tons of different styles and colors that match perfectly with all of the sneakers and the fits in your collection. If you haven't yet tried out APTHCRY socks, what are you doing? Make sure to check us out. We make the most comfortable socks out there. They're soft, they're breathable, and of course they fit great because of our proprietary ISOweave technology and our material blend. So make sure to check us out and use code SHOESOFF for $10 off of your first order on our website. With that being said, back to the episode.
Did you ever, like when you first, I guess, got the opportunity, did you ever think that you would be like the face of or a personality of Complex and having, I'm sure people recognize you on the street all the time.
It wasn't something that I thought about when I was arriving there, and it wasn't like in my remit when I first arrived, just in terms of my job description. It was something that just naturally emerged. So it wasn't something that I really aspired to or thought about until eventually it became part of my responsibilities.
How did it happen? How did they get you into podcasting and into content?
On camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it happened because of the shift in digital media in the mid 2010s of pivot to video, which is like the phrase a lot of people were using at the time. And so digital media companies like Complex were in need of people who would get on camera for whatever reason. And at the time, the reason was Facebook Live, because Facebook was promoting their live streaming, and they were paying publishers to create large amounts of content and just have a continuous stream of video. And so I was one of the people who got on camera, and that was like the first version of it. And I think that Full Size Run, the show I used to co-host with Trinidad James and Matt Welty, the earliest iteration of that I think was as a Facebook Live show.
Wow.
So it was all live, and
I didn't know that.
I don't think we had like the goofy editing that we used to do.
That was
Yeah.
excellent. That was the best part. I mean, no, you were the best part. You guys, you guys were the best
I
part.
was only a part. Shout out to Matt Gian who edited that for us. But yeah, so it just happened because like that's what the way the industry was going, basically.
Right. How was that transition into video? How was it going from, I guess, someone behind the camera to someone who's kind of the face of Complex?
A face.
A face.
I'm not
A
that
face.
face. If anybody's the
Head of
face, it's Joe
sneakers.
LaPuma. Yeah, right. It was good. It was really beneficial, and like it's something that I still appreciate, and like people still like, you know, hey, love your content and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very heartwarming. The results of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's something that I think, especially in the sneaker community, a lot of people really appreciated because you guys brought a really, and the show's, I mean, the sneaker podcast is still going.
Yep. Shout out to them.
Shout out to them. The show brought a lot of really cool perspective, especially being able to bring on some of the people that you guys brought on.
Yeah, for sure.
And you guys all had unique perspectives too, but like being able to have your perspective with someone like a Salehi or a Stephen Smith or someone like that, that was really cool to hear because you guys would ask the questions that we were all thinking. But you can't just tweet. Sometimes you can. You can't just tweet like Salehi. I mean, you can tweet Kevin Durant and he'll respond to you, no problem. But
Should we tweet him right now?
would you respond to this, Kevin, for a podcast? But like it was cool to sort of see you guys ask the questions that we all kind of wanted to ask. So I always appreciated that. But I'm sure doing that, there was probably some. I mean, anyone who posts themselves online at any point like deals with hate. Like, is that something that was new?
Never.
Really?
It was always all. I can't remember I can't remember a single hate comment. It's always been 100% positive. What was the question?
How was dealing with that? Like, I'm sure going from writing to that was probably a pretty big.
Yeah, because you're always behind. I mean, people saw your name, but
Yeah.
they never.
They're like, this Brendan, like he just types weird, he types funky, but like then like, oh, this Brendan, then they put a face to the name, like this is the guy.
You know what? It actually like wasn't that much of an adjustment because like my work was already being subject to intense criticism because like comment sections already existed before that.
Yeah.
So like I had already kind of been through the fire in a way. I think that YouTube comments are a different level, although the toxicity in YouTube comments has really died down over the past decade, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, it is a weird thing to subject yourself to that, but also like it's kind of part of the bargain.
Totally.
If you're putting your work out there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you read them or do you? kind
Yeah,
of
for
pretend
sure.
they don't exist?
For sure. It's funny, like early on where we were making videos, I just felt like I probably didn't have the heart to read them. And I was like, this is going to be rough. But then I finally did start reading them. And I think that by the time I did start reading them a few years in, like we had kind of won the audience over and we were like a staple for a lot of people at that point. So it did seem to me from my like biased perspective that like at least the ones that were floating to the top were positive, but also it is a good space to like figure out how to get better at your craft. Of,
Totally.
Like, someone's mentioning a tick that you have or a thing that you always do that it would be difficult to step outside yourself and acknowledge that without the help without the help of the people who are actually watching this. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it might be mean, but it really, there's not always truth to it, but sometimes, the ones that hurt the most, the ones that you know, like, I do say that too much, or I do that too much, or something.
Yeah.
Those are the worst ones. Has there been a like a favorite guest or a favorite moment from any of those podcasts that you can remember?
Favorite guest? I mean, like I loved having Fat Joe on, and we
Yeah.
had a couple different conversations with Fat Joe between Full Size Run and then later on the Complex Sneakers podcast. I just think he's such an excellent storyteller. A man we should mention because we're here in the Bronx. He's just such an icon and a treasure. So and a guy who's just been obsessed with sneakers and was one of the first famous people to be a sneakerhead, I guess, or to like, you know, to be so into it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not articulating that well, but you guys know
No,
what I mean.
absolutely.
Terror Squad, Air Force Ones, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely.
Same question, but maybe not as a guest, but through StockX and Complex. Have you met any really cool like people, or is it still Fat Joe's number one?
Yeah, I've met a lot of cool people. I mean, the thing that excites me is getting to meet the people behind the scenes who aren't always credited, because I think that one of the things that happens in sneaker design is you don't necessarily always know who made the shoe. It's like you go watch a movie, and at the end there are credits, and if you're really into movies or film production or whatever, you can sit there and you can see exactly who did what. I think that there's not an equivalent of that in sneakers, so sometimes people just don't get the credit that they deserve. And
Totally.
so what I like is like finally putting the pieces of those puzzles together and understanding how things, more than just this person designed the shoe. Okay, who was the PLM? Who developed it? Who did the colors? All these things. And that was one of the things that I liked a lot in my work at Complex. And then at StockX, I think the work is just more about kind of being engaged with the everyday consumer and the customers. So that's what I like. I like seeing people who interact with our platform. And also, we were talking before we got on here, getting to go to our verification centers and see the experts who are putting in the hard work to determine the legitimacy of our product and all the technology that goes behind it. So that's been really cool in the short time I've been at StockX.
That's awesome. Tell me about your transition over to StockX. Was there a reason why you decided to take the leap? Was it something that you'd always wanted to do? Or now that you're there, like what sort of, two separate questions, what's your sort of day-to-day like?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a great opportunity for me and a chance for me to do something different and
awesome.
expand what I was doing in sneakers and try something new. And I think that StockX has a lot of momentum. And I'm on the record saying this before I ever joined the company. Like, I think that they really changed the way we collect sneakers and the way we buy and sell sneakers. And it's just like a powerful conduit for sneaker culture. And I felt like I could help with that. The second part of your question, what is my day-to-day like? I think I'll mention her if she doesn't mind. Katie is sitting off camera. I work with her on the comms team, and I didn't look at her to see if she minds or not. But like my day-to-day is sitting with Katie and the comms team and figuring out like how we can communicate the stuff that StockX is doing to the world and how we can show them who we are, and also how we can support them, because like we ask for the trust of the sneaker community, and that comes in the verification process, but also comes in like us being an entity that's built on sneaker culture in a way. So how can we communicate with the people who really power our platform?
Right. I mean, so the thing with StockX and all these other resale platforms, and because I use them religiously, I love them, specifically StockX. Shout out StockX, by the way.
Osman, are you a StockX user?
I am, yeah. The Brooklyn, when we first met, I bought them from StockX. The Brooklyn Air Force Ones.
You did. They're very clean. I was jealous.
Yeah.
Very jealous. When working with the community, I'm sure you deal with a lot of people who just don't understand. Like, one question I like to ask people who have been in front of camera a lot, but it's interesting asking someone who works at a company like StockX, who probably deals with a lot of flack all the time. What is that like? And are there things that you wish you could tell the community that you can't just like, tweet at them because it's not the appropriate way to respond to it? Are there things that you wish people knew that you could be like, listen, if you just got it, I wish I could just tell you this?
I do wish, and I hope we can do this work. I do wish people could see. Look, we've done a little bit of work of bringing people to our verification centers. You've been there. I was there with some people last week. And I think once you see the level of care that goes into checking a product and we don't always get to show all the details, but like the standard operating procedures and the long decks we have about the little tells in sneakers. And you can't always share that data because you got to keep some of it secret. And it is
if you shared all of it, then people would be like, that's how the factories are figuring it out. I almost think it's better that you don't share all of it.
Right. So that's the main thing that I think about is like, I wish people could see how hard we work at that and like how exact we're able to get it. And we've shared a little bit about, we have CT scanning machines where we're putting shoes in this really expensive machine and creating a 3D rendering. I don't know if you saw did you see the ruby red slipper thing we did?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, where it was like nobody else had any indication as to how limited that shoe was. So this is the ruby red slipper version of the Wizard of Oz dunk, where those dunks came in the bag, right? And it was like a blind box thing, but people didn't realize until after there are a certain amount of pairs of these super rare versions. And once those pairs started to emerge, inevitably they passed through StockX, and we ended up scanning one of these sneakers and seeing that underneath the tongue there's this numbering system. I can't remember if it's out of 64, but
oh wow,
X out of 64, and nobody would have known that were it not for us making this CT scan. And I've seen a lot of cool things through the CT scan. So yeah, just more than anything, the level of detail that we go into, I think.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, and I mean, I can say from going to the the center, it's really it's different than I expected. I assumed that there was gonna be people checking each one of the shoes, but the knowledge that each one of these people had was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And working, I mean, to be completely transparent, working with other brands throughout the past, like they all do things differently, but StockX seems to be the most. Again, StockX is the only one I've seen behind the scenes. The only one that's let me go behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So shout out to StockX for that.
Osman, have you been?
I have not been. I would love
We
to.
got to bring you out.
It's dope. It's really cool.
Sorry, I cut you off. I warned you. I warned you that I wasn't going to cut you off.
No, it's great. I love it. I love it. Shoot, what was I gonna say?
You were talking about how StockX is better than all the
Yes,
competitors.
yes. No, I really feel like you guys have done a really great job of not only, I guess, removing some of the mysticism or some of the, that's not the right word. Removing, I should ask the linguist about this. What's the right word? Removing
Mystique? Is that the-
That's
yeah?
the word I was looking for, yes. Getting rid of the mystique. Am I using that correctly?
Hey man, I'm being descriptive, not prescriptive here. So go
Fair
on.
enough, fair enough. Okay. That makes me sound like or that makes me think I'm not using it correctly.
No, you're good. I'm not here to criticize your word choice.
But it's I guess it's unveiled some things which I appreciate, and that's something that StockX has done a really good job of. It's really, and I think it's because of you guys. You're doing such a good job of sort of showing off the behind the scenes. People have more trust in it.
I think it's really cool that like whenever you're price checking anything, like, and this is not just me, it's just like industry wide. You go to SneakerCon, same thing.
Yeah.
StockX, like that's just like the place to go. It's the family household name of sneaker pricing.
I'm glad you said it, not me, because like, look, even if you don't buy or sell anything on the platform, like you do still go to it to check the prices. Like if you're doing hand to hand, or you're at SneakerCon, or you're transacting on another platform, I know for sure that you're still going to StockX
100%.
to figure out, because we do embrace the data, and that's another thing that I love about what we do. We have all this historical data about what sold for which price when, and you do, like you said, you go to StockX, and that's where you figure out what the price is, which is, you know, this is old messaging, but one of the co-founders had wanted at one point to be the Kelly Blue Book of sneakers,
kind of
right?
is.
And, yeah.
It is, yeah. Absolutely. Do you see a lot of the trends, like the specific sneakers that are really trending on StockX? Are there any trends that you've noticed recently that you're like, oh, that's interesting, I wouldn't have thought that?
You know what? I will have a better answer for you in the form of some content we're doing soon, because like we have some stuff planned involving like looking at historical trends around sneaker prices and whether or not certain events affected them. So I haven't dug into that yet as much as I should, but soon.
Cool. How have you found that creating content for StockX is different from Complex? And let me just ask this question more broadly. What is your approach to content creation? How do you start about doing it or get into it?
Yeah, I mean, I just try and think about things that people haven't seen yet, or things that are additive, or if it's a shoe someone's already talking about, how to talk about it in a different way, or how to shed some new light on it. I think that a recent example is, because I do help out with content at StockX, and a lot of this comes in the forms of unboxings, and we get so many sneakers passing through our network that sometimes we can give people an early look before other people have. But one of the gentlemen you mentioned, Steven Smith, legendary sneaker designer, he's at Crocs now. As I think the title is Head of Innovation Design. And they had sent over the new Crocs Ripple shoe.
They sent those over?
Yeah.
You showed us pictures of it a few weeks back.
Nice. Before anybody else had seen it. Yeah. And when that shoe was being distributed, and it's not out yet, I think maybe it's coming out in October at Complex Con. I'm not certain on that, but people were posting the way the shoes look on feed and in hand and things like that. All useful, and this is a carryover from what I did when I was at Complex. Like, my thought was, why don't I just ask the guy who designed it? Because I know him and I know another person who worked on it. So I just got on the phone with a few people and got the actual details of what the different foams are, what it's called, what their intention is, and why it's called the Crocs Ripple and things like this. So just that kind of, I think, is emblematic of my general approach of like trying to make something that people haven't seen before, or have an angle that people haven't taken before.
I love that. And I love that you're doing that with an early look that no one else has yet. It makes it makes it easier for content creators like myself to have like sort of something to fact check yourself on, but also it's really great for the consumer because it gives them that extra level of knowledge about a product. So they're not just buying it because they're like, oh, it's cool, or it's what everyone's wearing. It's like,
So you're trying to give them value, basically.
Yeah,
Not
for
just,
sure.
like, pretty pictures.
Yeah. That's definitely a good way to put it, and like probably the most succinct way. Yeah.
Are they on StockX yet? Because I need a pair for a review.
I don't think they are yet. But they'll be there for sure.
Okay, shoot, I'm gonna be buying a pair, or maybe a Complex. I'll buy it somewhere. It's probably gonna be StockX. Shout out StockX.
Yeah, we have a wealth of data at StockX that we can look into, and one of the ways that we present this to the public is with our reports, Big Facts, which come out regularly, and we use these to highlight high-level trends that we're seeing, or shoes that we're seeing percolate and rise in popularity. So it's a really cool, in-depth look at all of the things we see moving around in the secondary market, and how those trends inform the primary market and things like that. So definitely that's one of the big tools that we have is this report, Big Facts, where we really break down sneaker trends.
That's awesome. I know we can get into a whole discussion about that. We won't do it now because I feel like it'd be a whole podcast episode, but that's really cool.
Is this open to the public to see?
Yeah.
Oh,
We publish them. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Sweet. How do people find it? Is it like an email list, or is it a?
They can go to the StockX newsroom. We usually post them up on there on the
cool.
website. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So tell me how you're feeling about the sneaker world as a whole right now. Are you seeing any trends that you like, you don't like?
Yeah, I feel like I actually posted this on X the other day. It's an interesting time, I think, because we as consumers are kind of being spoiled right now, and there are so many good shoes coming out. I mean, is this the 2025
Yep.
pair? This is the 2025.
Yep.
You have the 2025 Neon Air Max 95. I think a retro that is better than any of the previous retros.
Completely agree.
I have on undefeated Jordan 4s, a sneaker that if you would have told any of us we had the chance to buy, like, Osman was on Nike. You remember, like if you ever told me I got a chance to buy that shoe, I would be like, what, for retail?
Yeah.
So I think there have been a lot of incredible releases this year. I think the flip side of that is like sometimes the people who own the stores are a little stressed out about what their future is. And I feel that sometimes recently talking to people who own retail stores, but I think it's a really interesting time. And I think there's a lot to be excited about.
How do you feel about Jordan Brand bringing back all the classics and all the retros? Like, do you have any Oregon Duck PEs that maybe came back and you're like, dang, now everyone's got it?
No, the only Oregon shoe I ever had was the Pit Crew Jordan 3.
The only. I mean, shoot.
And
Jeez.
I don't have those anymore.
Fair enough.
I did sell those when I was in college. How do I feel about them bringing it back? I think that it's cool. I don't know. I have conflicted feelings, and I feel like in general I do enjoy it, but I feel like there's been a lot of it in the past year where, like, look, again, I said it, I'll repeat it, like, to be able to buy an undefeated Air Jordan 4 is awesome and like a thing that brings me great joy. But if it's in the same 12-month span where we had Wu-Tang Dunks and Galaxy foam posits, I came to this store for the Galaxy trading? For the Galaxy foam posit.
What did you trade?
I just watched people trade.
Fair,
I watched Mikey Phelps handle that. So to see so much of it happen in a span of a year, I don't think I necessarily like that. Even though most of these shoes, I've had this conversation before, but it's like I don't necessarily have the restraint to, even if I disagree with like the idea of bringing back a bunch of them. Also, as a consumer, I'm still going to buy them every time.
Absolutely.
So it's like I don't know how much I can reserve any judgment or judge at all the strategy or say that I disagree with it if I'm the person who's going to buy them every time. Pata Chlorophyll Air Max 1s, another one where I'm just like, I have to buy that shoe. So
yeah,
I'm.
Do you think this is an indicator that, and this is not a leading question, I'm genuinely asking, do you think this is an indicator that Jordan Brand and maybe Nike are starting to be like, shoot, like we need to do something because these other brands like On, Hoka are putting out so much good stuff that sneakerheads are buying now? I mean, shoot, the Brooks Jeff Staple collab was fire. It might not have sold out immediately, but it's like one of my favorite collaborations in a long time.
Yeah, it certainly felt like that as a consumer, of like they felt like they needed heat. But it's interesting because these types of shoes, in my mind, don't necessarily compete with the ones you're mentioning of like On and Hoka. It's a different consumer, I think. But that is what it felt like to me. Yeah,
like Nike being reactive.
Right. Yeah. Right. Which I don't think is a good thing. But
no, I agree.
Do you think for your undefeateds, like, does it have the same? Obviously, you didn't spend $30,000-$40,000 on them.
I did.
But does it mean the same to you? Like, does the history?
Just so we're clear.
Does the history like still resonate, or is it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
or when you see a kid on the subway wearing them, it's like, oh,
yeah. This is actually, it's funny because to everybody's understanding, and I don't know the stock numbers, and I wouldn't try and estimate, but it seemed like there were a lot of pairs, or people felt like they made a lot of pairs, and I had heard early on that there were going to be a lot of pairs, but I don't see this shoe out that much. Do y'all see?
I know, it's crazy.
Well, Seth wears it a lot. I see.
I do. I do. Well, I hit on
He has
both.
to wear it a lot because he paid so much money for it, so he
I
has to
think
get
he
his
hit
money's
like
worth.
3-4
I
pairs.
hit. So I haven't hit on the sneakers app in probably 3 years. I had the early sneakers app back in 2014 when it was only available in New York, only on iOS,
Yeah.
and I was hitting everything. It was. I got like the black toes. I got the breads back in 2016. All
They
retail.
saw
no
your
shoe.
name on the account and they were like, "We gotta bless."
It was
this
before
guy.
I was really into YouTube.
Okay.
Genuinely, like maybe it was
Just
even
a
2015.
civilian,
It's just
yeah.
a civilian. That's I met one time. I met Virgil Abloh and got to sit down with him. Got him to sign my shoes, and that was
Wow.
before YouTube. And it was
Which
because
shoes?
the ones, the Chicago ones, back in 2017.
You still have them?
I do. They say Air Fowler.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You must have posted those before.
I did. That was actually the
so
first video
cool.
that I posted that really took off.
That's so cool.
Because I got them like a month early. It was for his office hours,
Wow.
and I had missed out on the sneakers. Did a like a thing where you could click and just like get a chance to meet him. But then there was one. So I have a background in industrial design, and so does Os. There was one where it's like you can sit down with Virgil. There was no guarantee of shoes or anything. It didn't say anything like that. It was like write a I think it was a 1,000-word essay on why you'd like to sit down with Virgil Abloh and talk design. And that entry hadn't closed yet. So I was like, you know what? Shoot, I'll do this. And I was working at BarkBox in Soho at the time, designing dog toys. And I wrote this essay just like being, I really appreciated what he's done with Pyrex. And like, I like all the, all his previous work. And I won. And I got a chance. There was like 10 people per day and I got a chance to meet him. I didn't know at the time, but I got a chance to buy the shoes. And then what happened was he wasn't available the first day, so I got to come back the second day. I brought the shoes back, so I'm like, shoot, I could have him sign them. And then that's sort of how that went. But
That's awesome.
it was sick. It's one of those like moments that I think is really influential to me. One, because it was meeting a designer I really looked up to, but two, because it sounds stupid to say now, but like the impact that he genuinely had in my life because of one, meeting a designer that I really looked up to, but two, the fact that I got his cosign in that he literally signed it, and the fact that I got the shoes a month early. And I just put out a video just saying like, I love these shoes. These are awesome. Check out this collab. And the video exploded. Like that was when I went from, I think it was maybe 7,000 or 8,000 subscribers up to like 20,000 subscribers in like a weekend.
Yeah.
And so both in the literal sense and in the figurative sense, he really did help me out a lot.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Not at all stupid to say. It's important to like say these genuine things that affected us. I love that.
He gave me a job. Like I not to tell the story again, but I got fired from BarkBox the next year. And if it wasn't for that
You
experience,
just sucked at designing dog toys.
the problem was I think I was
They weren't hitting?
I was too into. There's a lot of different reasons,
Dude,
probably.
I guess maybe you told this before because you were like, I'm going to tell it again. But you have so much more lore than I ever realized.
See, my problem was I think it was right when I was getting into YouTube is when I went from I used to work out in Long Island at a kitchenware company where I designed kitchenware, and then I know I've been everywhere. It's
Renaissance,
ridiculous.
man.
went to Soho, designed dog toys back in I think it was 2016 is when I got the job, and that was when my YouTube career started because all the releases were happening in Soho.
Yep.
So I'd go to 21 Mercer, I'd go to Kith, and I picked up the Off-White Hyperdunks just at Kith because they were sitting. There was a random restock at lunch one day, and I was like, "Shoot, I'm gonna buy these." Did a review on that. Like having all these shoes close by, being able to go to like
This is why they fired you? Because you were busy fetching shoes?
I would take 3-hour lunches, and I wouldn't do any work, and so they fired me, and rightfully so. Looking back on it, they were 100% right to fire me. But because
Did you design any real bangers for them? Like any dog toys? that really went
you know what?
crazy?
I think I'm a good designer when it comes to dog toys. I did some nice. I was in the Super Chewer
I
department.
got a
Super
super portfolio, man. The Super Chewer?
The Super Chewer. So they
What's
did.
that about?
It's the dogs that really like to chew. So it's like the more nylon bones and like the super. It sounds nuts, but like realistically, like this is the science. And the dog people are. I'm a dog person. They're crazy, and we love taking care of our dogs and giving them the best toys. So I was into it. But yeah, so long story short, I got fired and I went YouTube full time. But I don't remember at all where we were going to. So we were talking about sneakers. We were talking about Virgil Abloh. What was before that? Shoot.
I don't really care. I just want to talk about dog toys.
Let's talk about dog toys. Do you have a dog? Do you have a pet?
No, I'm not really a dog culture person.
Fair.
Yeah.
Are you a pet person?
No
Fair.
animals in my house. No, I don't have any. No.
Do you have like any animal related hobbies?
Animal
Bird watching.
related.
Bird watching,
hobbies.
yeah.
Yes, Osman, you threaded the needle. I appreciate that. Not bird watching, but I play a card game called Wingspan.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Which is based on birding.
Okay.
It's incredible, and I'm obsessed with it. And they haven't put out an expansion for a few years, but my wife and I still play it regularly.
That's awesome.
It's one of the best, and one of the best selling card games of the past few years.
I didn't know
Gonna
that.
have to check that out.
It's yeah.
Are you a Catan player at all, or like a?
No, I was a big Magic the Gathering
nice.
guy
That's awesome.
as a young man. Of course, I'm not a young man anymore. So I worked at a card shop in college.
Oh, I didn't know that. Very cool.
Spent a lot of time there outside of working there. Friday Night Magic every week, and some other nights of the week as well. So, but that's not, I don't do that anymore.
You don't follow like Alpha Investments on YouTube or anything, like
What-
folks. You know that guy?
No, what is that?
So it's this guy who's really he owns a card shop somewhere, and his whole channel is like investing in like ETBs and Magic the Gathering and Pokemon cards and
Okay.
stuff. And it's just this dude who basically does like stock tips for cards.
Okay.
But he's got this great personality, and he loves playing the cards too. So it's just this guy who. It's just kind of one of those like if you know sorts of guys. And I don't know really anything about Magic, but I got in 2020.
You want me to teach you?
Shoot, yeah, I would definitely. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. It's
I am.
Oh,
I don't have time
shoot.
for
Okay.
that. No.
I'm kidding too. Totally. Totally. But in 2020, I got into all these hobbies, as I'm sure we all did.
Yeah.
And just like not card collecting specifically, but watching YouTube videos about card
Yeah.
collecting of all these different like
Got
sets
it.
and things.
Got it.
Okay. So going back to StockX a little bit, what's the Magic situation on StockX?
You know, that's a great question. We sell a lot of Pokemon cards and sets on StockX. I actually don't know the extent to which we have Magic cards, and I'm gonna pull up my phone right now and look.
Let's
And
do it.
maybe if we don't, we can rectify that and add a bunch of products to the catalog because we're always adding stuff. But there are so many. Yeah, we have Magic the Gathering on here.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
You want me? You want to buy some right now?
I mean, shoot, if StockX gives me credits to buy some, I'll buy some right now.
We might be able to set that up.
Okay, shoot. I'm down.
Spider-Man booster box.
Dope. Is there any Lord of the Rings ones on there?
Magic
Didn't
the
Post
Gathering.
Malone get? Did you follow this at all? Post Malone got the one ring, like that one card. The
Yeah,
one
I've
chase
never
card.
seen him at a Grand Prix. I've never seen him in a Pro Tour. He's buying cards for sure, but I've never really seen him slinging cardboard. So
Dang.
I don't know. Magic the Gathering, TCG, Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle Earth Collector Booster Box 12. We're not going to give you a whole box. We can get you like a couple boosters. We're not going to get you a case. You want some too,
I'll take
Osman?
one. Yeah.
Okay, one booster for
Shoot,
you.
let's
one
go.
booster
Yeah,
for you.
absolutely, absolutely.
Buy now for $1,400. Well,
Whoa.
Maybe.
last sale was $899.
I'll be honest.
I'll put in a low ball bid for you.
Fair enough. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. That's perfect. I'm stoked. Oh my gosh. So that's some lore I didn't know about you. I didn't know that you worked at a card shop. That's awesome. How was that?
It was hectic. It
I'm
was
sure.
fun though.
Did they have like game nights and stuff?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
They had a regular programming of like on Tuesday night we did drafts, which is where you open the booster packs and you build a deck.
I have
based
done one
on
of those.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know ball, Osman?
Never.
You don't know ball. We used to play extended, which is a format that predates what they call modern now. Again, it's stuff that I'm sure people don't care about, but you asked me, so I'm answering the question.
I'm down. Like I said, I love Alpha Investments. I just don't have any cards, but I love
Got
it.
it.
I love the lore.
Yeah, like different nights, different tournaments, different formats, things like that. And then the big one that Wizards of the Coast was pushing then, and I think probably still is now, is like Friday Night Magic, where as it sounds, on a Friday night you would get together and you would play the most current set, which is
Right.
standard or type 2.
And did
I
they
don't
have
know,
the what are they called? The starter boxes or boxes that you could only get at those launch events?
There would be like promo cards or
Gotcha.
sometimes, yeah, F&M promo cards, yeah.
That's awesome.
Or like when they would release a new set, there would be a promo card tied to the set, and there was like alternate art or a foil or something like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What's something besides cards that we don't know about you? What's something that maybe you're interested in, or that an experience that you had that you'd love to tell the people about?
What is there to know about me that the world doesn't already know?
I feel like when you have a podcast, as long as you've had one, they probably know almost everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so much in my life. Seth, this is a tough one.
That's okay. We can come back to it. Or we
I
can
feel
just-
like I gave you a real nugget with fencing, man.
That was
I
a
don't
good
know how
one.
much deeper I can go than that.
That was a really good one.
Yeah.
That was a really good one. Yeah, no, I feel like we have a lot of similarities in areas that I never expected. Also, I didn't realize we were so close in age. I think I'm a 92. I graduated in 2014 from college. So maybe you're, I won't go into it.
I'm an 80s baby. So
Maybe we're
Yeah.
not as close. He's
90.
He's 91. Or you're 90?
91.
Okay, 91.
I'm
yeah.
the oldest guy on set. Like I
Really?
said, I'm not a young man.
I mean, you look great. How
Thank
old
you.
was everyone else then?
Older than me.
That's
On
what-
the shows that I did?
Yeah.
Yeah, older than
Okay,
me.
I was gonna say, I was like, there's no way. Okay, yeah. I was like, yo, no. Shout out to them, by the way. They're all great. They're all awesome.
T, Joe LaPuma, Trinidad James.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
etc.
Is there ever a situation where you see yourself starting another podcast, and if you did, would it be about sneakers or would it be about something different?
Yeah, it could happen in the future, and I think that it probably would be about sneakers because that's the thing that I know the most about, or like the thing that I have the most to offer on. So yeah, it could happen.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, let us know. We'll hit subscribe as soon as it drops.
Like and subscribe and comment, but only if it's a nice comment.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Get that engagement. But yeah, only nice engagement, please, guys. Shoot.
No, we appreciate critical engagement too.
It like we said earlier, it's good for learning, but it does suck sometimes. I'll say that.
Yeah, you're right.
When they get personal, when they talk about my red beard, or maybe
That hurts you?
oh my gosh. You know what's crazy? And this is so unimportant, but I'm gonna get into it a little bit.
So unimportant.
Very unimportant.
Dude, we talked about dog toys. We talked about
Those are
fencing.
important. Those are all important to somebody. This is only important to me. This is a very narcissistic thing I'm about to say. So when I film my videos, I sit.
Yeah.
And the problem is that when I sit, I guess I slouch. So my shirt kind of does this.
Yeah.
And so what people will say to me at conventions when they come up to me, sneaker conventions, is like, "Oh, I thought you were fatter than that." I'm like,
What?
What?
That's insane.
I know. They're like,
That's
"Yo, I thought
insane.
you were chunky." And there's this one picture I have with Action Bronson where I was leaning a certain way. Now, to be fair, it was a very awkward situation. Action definitely doesn't like me.
What?
Well, I dapped him up, and he didn't want to be dapped up.
Okay.
And yes, and it was inappropriate to me, and I learned from it. But the way I was angled, it looked like I
Can
had.
you tell that? What? Well, how do you know he didn't want to be dapped up?
So, okay, so this is back when I was getting into YouTube. I have very little experience with celebrities.
With people in general.
With people in general. And Adidas was like, "Yo, we'd love to have you come interview Action Bronson for this new shoe he has coming out."
Yep.
They didn't tell me what it was. I didn't know it wasn't a shoe. It was the New York City Ultra Boost, like the multicolor one. And they didn't tell me anything. And then they're like, "Okay, the interview might not be happening, but you can still come to the event." So I was like, "Cool." And so I pull up.
Where's the event?
It was in Union Square. Were you there at that one?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It doesn't sound familiar to me.
Okay, it was like 2018, 20, I don't remember exactly when it was. But he ended up being there. And they're like, "Okay, here's your chance." And I'm like, "What? You didn't give me any time to prepare." So I go up, I'm like, "Hey man, like I love your shoe, it's dope." And he's like, "Oh, it's not my shoe." I'm like, "Oh shoot, I really like, your music is great." And I was just sitting there just like saying just dumb stuff. And then I had my friend filming me.
Because you weren't prepared because you didn't think you had to be prepared.
But realistically, I should be able to have a normal conversation with someone.
It's hard, man.
It is,
It's
but
hard. I'm struggling right now.
you're doing great.
Thank you.
You're doing great. But then to end the interview, I tried to dap him up, and he had a bad time the whole interview. And there's this photo of him literally looking at
seen
me.
this photo.
I can
wow.
put it up on
Yeah.
screen. Literally his face looking at me like this, and I'm like, and it's the worst ever.
He's just ready to body slam you.
Exactly. And I was like, well, the only thing I can do now is post it. Like I met Action Bronson, and he goes
Yeah.
ahead and likes the photo, and then I've never
He
seen him
liked
again.
the photo?
He did like the photo.
Come on,
because I think
man.
I put a caption like "I'm an idiot" or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was.
That's why he liked it.
Yeah, he's like, "Yes, you
You
are."
were, yeah,
That's correct.
Sufficiently self-effacing.
Actually, that sort of leads me to another point. Are there any celebrity interactions that you've had, or people?
Any celebrities who don't like me? Definitely.
No, not. But any interesting or exciting or stories that you have to tell from your time meeting celebrities or running into?
I feel like a lot of those are public, but yeah, I've had some rappers DM me sometimes out of the
Okay.
blue,
Shoot some like. What kind of DMs?
mad at me.
Oh, fair.
Yeah,
Fair.
I'm not gonna share all the
No, you
details,
don't
but
need
that
to.
happened once or twice.
Shoot, I mean, I've never had a rapper DM me, so that's pretty impressive. There you go. Angry or not, like you have rappers DMing you.
Yeah.
Well, cool. What's coming up in the future for you? What you got going on?
Yeah, just excited to find new ways to connect StockX to our communities, and I'll be at Complex Con,
Dope.
so happy to see people out there. We have some exciting stuff coming with the Detroit Pistons, which StockX
Nice.
is involved with, and yeah, just excited to figure out what the end of the year looks like and how we can help support everything going on in the sneaker world.
That's awesome. Well, we're excited to see what you guys come up with.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, where can they find you both? StockX and social media for yourself.
StockX, it's at StockX, and me, it's at Brendan Dunne,
Dope.
and yeah, we're everywhere.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come all the way out to the Bronx. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you for hosting me. Nice to meet you,
course.
Osman.
Yep.
And Seth, always a pleasure to see you.
Yeah, you too. We did get you a gift.
Oh my
We
God.
got you some socks because
Oh my
this is
God.
obviously a sock podcast. So we
Yep.
have some APTHCRY socks, which are actually available on StockX, but not these ones. But we have hats and socks available on StockX.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's a 5.
You want me to open it now?
You don't have to. It's if you'd like to. You know what? Shoot, we'll clip it if you open it.
Okay, cool. Well, because I was.
Unless you say the socks are bad, in which case no. This we're kind
But
of
wait,
so far out.
now I can't sell them on StockX because it's on.
Each one
broke the
seals.
seal.
They are sealed. Yes.
Oh,
yes. You
okay,
could.
cool.
Now these particular ones probably aren't on StockX because some of them haven't released yet. But
Ooh.
yeah, early. We got all
Socks
sorts
are
of stuff.
always good to have.
Agreed. And you've got a sneaker wipe that looks like a condom.
Got it.
Yes.
A sneaker wipe's also always good to have.
Absolutely. And I think there's also a car air freshener in the shape of a sock.
I don't have a car.
Well, you've got a sock that smells like ocean.
Yeah, beautiful. This is it.
Yeah, there it is. We couldn't get the laundry detergent smell, so we went for ocean, which kind of smells like laundry detergent.
Yeah.
It's about as close as
The
you can
ocean
get.
means a lot to me, so I appreciate it.
There you go.
Which
We
ocean?
knew that in advance.
It's East Indian.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's one I've never smelled, so definitely.
Me neither.
This will be a new experience.
That's what they told us, and we're like, okay, shoot, let's go for it.
yeah.
Thank you, Seth. I appreciate
No
it.
problem.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Osman.
Yeah, this has been a blast. I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thank you. Have a good one, man.
Yes, sir.
Guys,
Take
make
care.
sure to follow Brendan. Check out what his work on StockX. We're excited to see what he has coming up with, and we'll see you guys
Keep
in the next
shopping.
one. Yeah, happy shopping.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys. See you guys in the next one.